Welcome to the session. We will take up an editorial article from the Hindu and discuss questions. The aim of this session is very simple. It is to help you develop your skills as far as RC passages are concerned. The exam CAT is around the corner. Most exams are, in fact, but uh, the special focus here is on how do you tackle questions that come in the RC section in CAT, right? So what I've done is I've taken a passage, I've taken an article and I've made some questions on it, right? There are three questions to be exact, and after that there are some questions on odd sentence and parajumples also, which I have curated so that you can actually have some practice, right? So let's see, without further delay, let me show you the source of today's article. This is the article today, right? This is the title: the Evergrande size question over Chinese politics, right? And the Evergrande crisis is significant with answers linked to the Communist parties, linked to the Communist Party of China's political and social outlook. This is the this is the what do you call the the title, right? And what is Evergrande? Evergrande is a housing, housing provider, right? If it's an organization in China, it nearly collapsed some time ago. It's a name of an organization because it was about to release its IPO. It collapsed, right? It was about to go public and it collapsed, nearly collapsed. Almost, abhi, we do not know exactly has it been wiped out. To nahi hua, but it is running into difficulties because of changes in rules, right? Now, so we will get to know the details. We will get to know it as we go ahead and read it further. This is the first slide. Everybody quickly go through it. So everybody is reading it, I hope. So what is he saying? In the first paragraph, if you have read it carefully, what the author is telling you is about the problems of Evergrande, right? So what was it? What was the problem? It had run out of money. No, there was no source of money, right? And there was liabilities. There were angry lenders, right? So how did it start? Regulators meaning the people who make policies, laws, right? They changed the lending regulations with the aim to strengthen. With these aims, these are quoted from the policymakers, right? It brought in more curbs in lending to big private businesses, right? So this was what caused the problem of, which was what caused the problem to Evergrande. Second paragraph, देखो, if you look at it, right, are there any words which you do not know? I think should not be. Elites, probably. Who are the elites? Elites are the people who belong to the higher class, right? And bubble waiting to burst, meaning it's a problem, right? That can explode any moment. It can go wrong any moment, right? It has been kept running by on very flimsy ground. So like a bubble, not stable, something which can. So the housing sector in China has been labeled as a bubble waiting to burst, right? What kept it going on for this over the 7 years or so, and why Evergrande imploded so suddenly, right? So these are the answers to these questions can be found in the. So that basically means the problem with Evergrande and the China and China's housing sector is that it is not, it's not a problem which just got created now. It has been there, right? The change in the regulations, it probably it made the problem faster. It made Evergrande almost collapse faster. So problem was already there. Change in regulation say it hastened. It got hastened. Okay. Right, and he's saying that how this all this to take place, it can be answered with reference to the Communist Party of China's present political and social outlook. Everybody has read it, I hope. Everybody's read it, I hope. No problems, I think. Right. So this is about a collapse, a near collapse of a housing company in, housing providing, matlab it's like a builder only, right? So builder, the word builder, construction giant bolo, right? Builder is a word which sounds a little bit shady. In any case, so a construction company called Evergrande, it nearly collapsed, right? Because of immediate cause was because of change in the regulations. It was left stranded. There was no money, right? To borrow from. I mean, so there was no capital to actually acquire. They were running short of money. Right? And the author tells you that this entire sector is in a problem for the last 7 years. Right? How did it run for so long, and how did this sudden problem happen? It can be answered only with respect to the Communist Party of China's social and political and social outlook. Everybody's read it, I hope. Right? First slide, second slide. Here, you will have to understand from the context what is the meaning of this idiom, right? So, developments in China tend to be explained with the help of Chinese idioms. What does he mean by this? In this paragraph, first paragraph, what he wants to tell you is that whatever is occurrences, happenings in China, they can be best explained using, the local dialect, the local ideas. So, he has used an idiom there, right? And if you look at what is explained China, what China did with the anti-financial IPO late last year, so that means it has already done something last year, right? So in the last year, what it did was they inflicted some problems with the anti-financial IPO last year is something which they must have done last year, which we do not know, but we know that it would be something which would have resulted in some negatives to an organization, right, or to a certain sector. That is the only thing which you know because it's killing the chicken, right? And now what it wants to do is to inflict the same thing to Evergrande, right? And the problem, the key here is, and the party does not know exactly how to handle it, right? This adds a very important, direction to the whole concept. देखो, ये तो क्लियर है कि टारगेटिंग चल रहा है, राइट? टारगेटिंग कुछ पॉइंट टू शो, टू प्रूव अ पॉइंट, लेकिन एवरग्रैंड के केस में इतना भी इजी नहीं हो रहा है बिकॉज इट इज अ बिग कंपनी, राइट? सो इसको अगर खत्म कर दोगे तो देयर कुड बी प्रॉब्लम्स. दिस इज समथिंग व्हिच वी कैन रीड, वी कैन गैदर इन द नेक्स्ट पैराग्राफ्स आल्सो. ठीक है, राइट? सो द क्वेश्चन दैट ही वांट्स to answer is, in other words, did the Chinese government want to make an example out of Evergrande so that सबको मैसेज पहुंचे कि गवर्नमेंट के खिलाफ जाओगे, गवर्नमेंट के लाइन में नहीं रहोगे तो this is what is going to happen. So probably an example like this. Does he get the answer clearly? We will get to know in the next paragraph. Read it, right? What is the meaning of this word Guangxi? Guangxi is explained here. Social network. Social network क्या होता है? Social network is basically जान पहचान, like जान पहचान, right? In Hindi you can this concept is very difficult to explain in English, right? So ये Asian countries में ज़्यादा होता है. China में भी है, so they call it Guangxi. Guangxi means, right, I know you, right? I know some people, so I will definitely tend to help. I will tend to favor some of my some of the people whom I know. जान पहचान वाली जो चीज है concept, right? So that is very similar to that. So what is it? If you notice, China's rise is based on two pillars: exports and infrastructure, right? Now this rise has been, it has led to unbalanced and inadequate growth, right? And the infrastructure sector, to which Evergrande belongs, right, it is at the center of social network, right? And because of the social network, it causes corruption and cronyism. What is cronyism? Favoritism. Okay, so the Chinese president has been speaking about correcting this, right? It is this entire sector in which Evergrande is in, right? It is prone to corruption and cronyism, right? Everybody is reading it, I hope. सबने पढ़ लिया. Nobody is asking me any questions, right? What is the meaning of cascading? Cascading implications, मतलब implications that will affect in the long run, like the effect of a waterfall, right? Which ऊपर होगा and धीरे धीरे it will affect, things later on, right? So cascading implications, implications that will affect, problem. I mean, things. It's like the effects will be felt almost like a ripple, right? एक के बाद एक, मतलब after, it's not like going to be a direct effect, right? It's almost like, yes, happening in a series of events like a waterfall. ठीक है, everybody has read it, I hope. ठीक है, right? So what was he telling you, right? That the sector in which Evergrande is something which has been supposed to be corrupt, right? And the Chinese government, the Chinese party, a political party, the Chinese Communist Party has been, speaking about fixing this problem. Second, there's another second issue. What is it? Let's give you 30 seconds to read it and then we will discuss. There are some words here which you may know: ostentatious, nouveau rich, and there's also an example. This example, we have no information, right? He is only making a passing reference. So, jitna, whatever information we can gather from the passage, that is what we need to gather, right? Do not go into, कि अच्छा इसका meaning क्या हुआ होगा. We can only guess. 100% sure नहीं हो सकते. ऑस्टेंटेशियस क्या होता है? बहुत ही ज्यादा शो, राइट? सो लाइफस्टाइल इज लाइक विजय मल्ल्या टाइप का लाइफस्टाइल, दैट इज ऑस्टेंटेशियस, राइट? नॉट नाउ. विजय मल्ल्या एक टाइम में ही वाज नोन फॉर लिविंग, living in a very grand manner, right? So that kind of a manner is called ostentatious. You can say gaudy, Vicky, correct? Gaudy is a good, gaudy, pompous, show off, right? बहुत ज़्यादा, luxury में indulge करना, the kind of lifestyle that, Vijay Mallya used to lead. So Evergrande का जो boss है, right? The lifestyle that he leads, right, is something which the party does not approve of, right? Why does it not approve of? He gives the reason here, right? It is okay to be rich, right? But it should be hard work, and you should always acknowledge the party's guidance. Matlab, you should always acknowledge the Communist Party of China's guidance. You should always, give credit to them. So it's almost like everything is controlled by the Chinese government, right? What is the meaning of nouveau rich? Nouveau rich basically means new rich. Nouveau is new, nothing else but new. Okay, so nouveau rich is basically nothing else but new rich, right? People who have become rich newly, just that, So that way, he is saying in China, you cannot act like that. Abhi abhi wealth mila hai. So those people who have just got rich, what do they normally do? They indulge in a lot of expenditure. They spend a lot, right? They indulge in a lot of luxury. So he's saying, ये सब China में नहीं चलता. ठीक है, right? And this feeling has only got stronger since the involving a fatal Faraday class involving Ling Zhua's sons. So this basically means Ling Zhua's son कौन होगा? एक आदमी. Ling Zhua would be a person who would probably who might have acquired a lot of money, right? And he did not go according to Chinese, the Chinese, according to Chinese societal and political rules. So his son died. So this could be an example of how things work in the Chinese society, in the Chinese political setup. If you do not follow it, such things happen. Probably this is the meaning. Okay. Right. And Chinese netizens, matlab people on the net, they are aware of this and they take to social media to vent their anger. Right. So these are, if you notice, right. So he is even telling you protests may be managed from inside the party to underwrite its imminent policy choices. So sometimes even the Chinese Communist Party might also, in fact, make people protest so that inke agenda, the political party's agenda is served, right? So it's the government controlling everything. ठीक है, right? So celebrities with businesses outside China non-conforming मतलब people who do not follow the rules, ठीक है? And Mughals are powerful and rich people, right? So those who are too independent, too autonomous मतलब too independent, they were targeted so in a way the government has control over everything. So those people who are a little bit different from the system, who are not too close to the party, they are targeted. Vicky, it is not about just humble, right? It's not just about humble. In China, if you have become rich, right, you should show it to be because of hard work and you should attribute it to the government. Otherwise, if you start spending money and indulging in a lot of, if you start showing off, right, चाइना में एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं है, राइट? सो इवन प्रोटेस्ट्स करके टारगेटेड होते हैं, टारगेट अगेन बाय द वे the protest is manufactured by the government. So those people who do not follow rules, right, celebrities, right, or even great, people who are rich and powerful, people who have a lot of money, they are targeted, right? And this targeting is done by government sponsored trolls, right? You can see very clearly that ये इससे इतना नहीं, but इसका probably 30-40% तो इंडिया में भी होता है, something like this problem like this. Anyway, हर जगह होता होगा, चाइना में ज्यादा है, ठीक है? All clear? Okay, right. Now, last two slides, there are just last two slides, we will just read it, right? This will tell you, right, targeting to sahi hai, everything is fine, right? But then there is a problem that comes with Evergrande. What is it? Let's read it. Let's see. Right, everybody has read this paragraph, I hope. So now the problem is the Communist Party of China, they are in a dilemma. Dilemma basically means they are faced with choices which are equally bad. क्या choose करे, क्या ना करे, समझ में नहीं आ रहा, ठीक है? Problem is China is Evergrande को खत्म भी नहीं कर सकता, right? They cannot completely end this company because the country, if you notice the sector in which it actually drives the Chinese economy, right? So China का जो target है expanding urbanization and increasing domestic consumption, it is very difficult without companies like this, ठीक है? Increasing domestic consumption is basically when people are you know willing to spend so that the economy becomes thriving, right? So dilemma is what, Evergrande जैसे कंपनी को डिस्ट्रॉय करोगे तो it will hurt both the targets, urbanization, right, and also spending, ठीक है? प्रियंका, डायलेमा क्या होता है? डायलेमा मतलब यहाँ से ही पता चल रहा है, राइट? इफ यू लुक एट द एग्जांपल यू विल अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज अ डायलेमा. डायलेमा मींस चॉइस नहीं है, क्या करना चाहिए नहीं करना चाहिए समझ में नहीं आता. सो दैट सिचुएशन इज कॉल्ड dilemma, right? What is happening here, if you notice, right, in this passage you will see, in this paragraph you are saying that Evergrande को खत्म भी नहीं कर सकते, खत्म तो करना चाहते हैं but खत्म भी नहीं कर सकते because it will hurt the targets of urbanization and domestic consumption. It will have a lot of implications on its roles, ठीक है? Right. So the Chinese, economy cannot afford to lose an organization like Evergrande, right? So Aman, we are almost about to end. By the way, uh, this editorial session, it will not continue in the month of November. It is only till tomorrow, right? There are other sessions which will take place. Do not worry about it. Anyway, right, moving on. Right, everybody is understood now. So the problem with Evergrande is it is relevant for the economy. If you finish it, it will have problems with it will create problems for China overall. Right. So this is the big issue. Now, last slide. This is the last paragraph. Right. And another thing, China is around 50% of the global steel and cement production. So the Evergrande crisis does have global implications. So Evergrande crisis will have global impacts. Right. Now, the next question that the author asks is important. What is it? It says that is it possible that this is a crisis which China has produced so that it can show to the world that we are important? See, China consumes 50% of the steel and cement production. If Evergrande, an organization like Evergrande, if it collapses, of course, world over there will be problems. So the author is wondering whether this is something which is done by the Chinese government to show off that we are important. देखा हमारा हम अगर contribute नहीं करेंगे तो world economy क्या में क्या problem हो सकता है? That kind of a show off. ठीक है? Right, and he even says there are possibilities, right? Evergrande ko China can actually let Evergrande fall, right? But then there's also a problem because it has links to the political family also. So 100% sure kuch bhi nahi hai yahan pe, right? Now there are reasons why they can let China or this Evergrande fall, but then it has also links with the it has political links, Jiang Zemin faction, and has links with the member of former premier Wen Jiabao. So these are all, connections. Depending on how these questions are answered, one might find the clues as to what happens, right? So nothing is clear. Everybody has read it, I hope. Right. Okay. Now, questions. Which of the following is true or likely to be true regarding the implosion of Evergrande? Implosion of Evergrande, first paragraph में mention था, first slide में. What is implosion? Explosion में, right? It something bursts, something explodes and it goes out. Implosion में collapsing within. ठीक है? So it's like explosion में something explodes and the pieces fly out. Implosion में it collapses within. So he's speaking about the collapse. So collapse of Evergrande से likely क्या क्या है, right? Is what is likely to be correct. 4 options, right? Let's see. Which of the following is true? There are 4 options, right? And as I always keep on telling you, eliminate options even if they have one word wrong, right? Something which is 99% true cannot be, 99% true but 1% false cannot be true. Nikita, if you can go back, लेकिन if you go back, कहाँ देखोगे? Right? I can just show you the first paragraph. I can just show you the first paragraph. बस. Right. Nikita, there are many slides. Everybody, by the way, should try to remember anyway. Right? You can refer to it. 10 seconds you have to read it. Then I will quickly show you the question. And थोड़ा सा, we'll have to be a little bit careful. ठीक है? Right? Context के हिसाब से भी देखो. Right. First question, I hope everybody option पढ़ के तो देखो. Right. Which of the following is true regarding the implosion? Regarding implosion is like collapse. Aman, it does not mean fusion. Fusion is like two things mixing and becoming one. Right. That is fusion. Implosion is something collapsing. Right. So buildings को जब तोड़ा जाता है तो they are you cause implosions. Okay, let me help you eliminate one. The owner of Evergrande is hand in gloves with the CPC. Hand in gloves मतलब he is in collusion, इनके साथ मिली भगत है, right? So do we know this surely, right? Last paragraph, remember he says links है, लेकिन इतना भी नहीं है कि उसकी वजह से बच जाए. Hand in gloves we do not know. ठीक है, so I've eliminated this. Nikita, if Evergrande did not explore all the available options of loans and overdrafts, क्या उसके पास ऑप्शन अवेलेबल नहीं था या फिर एक्सप्लोर नहीं किया था? Did not explore, we do not know, right? Evergrande, देखो फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ में यू कैन सी इट हियर. देखो, it had no options of more loans, right? So मतलब क्या हुआ, right? If you notice, this is taken from different parts. No option, option था ही नहीं, did not explore नहीं, right? And fourth part is something which we got from the fourth option is from this last part. Third is from the first paragraph, right? And what about this second option? The IPCC's ideology can provide answers as to why this happened. This is the answer, right? It was there in the title of the slide, right? So Evergrande के साथ क्या हुआ? The answer can be found in the social and political outlook. Remember वो टाइटल में भी लिखा हुआ था. Title: The Evergrande crisis is significant, with answers linked to the party's political and social outlook. Right. First part, you will find it here also. Right. So why Evergrande? यहाँ देखो, Evergrande has imploded so suddenly is the real story that can be answered only with reference to the party's political and social outlook. Political and social outlook is nothing else but ideology. Right. So it is directly stated here. Now, what about one? फ्रस्ट्रेशन विकी, होम बायर्स फ्रस्ट्रेशन है पैसेज में, ठीक है, लेकिन होम बायर्स फ्रस्ट्रेशन की वजह से ये हुआ है क्या? राइट, होम बायर्स वर फ्रस्ट्रेटेड, बट डिड इट कॉज द फॉल ऑफ एवरग्रैंड, हेस्टन द इम्प्लोजन, मतलब इट क्विकन, उसकी वजह से और जल्दी हो गया. सो फ्रस्ट्रेशन था बट इट डिड नॉट हेस्टन. सो द आंसर इज 2. ठीक है, एवरीवन डज द होम बायर्स का यहां लिखा हुआ है, देखो, इफ यू नोट दिस, राइट, home buyers wanting clear answers that did not seem to come from anywhere. So this will lead to frustration, of course, right? But then will this cause the fall of the organization? No, the question is about the what the fall, and the option 1 it says the frustration, right, hasten the implosion. Frustration caused, इसकी वजह से हुआ, we do not know. ठीक है, right. Next question is this: which of the following best sums up the meaning of the idiom to kill the chicken to scare the monkey? This is something which you can, make do by common sense also. To kill the chicken to scare the monkey. And example क्या दिया था? Right. Last year IPO के साथ कुछ किया था. This year they are doing it with Evergrande. ठीक है. So what is it? To kill the monkey to scare to kill the chicken to scare the monkey. This is something which you can very easily, this can be done by common sense. What should be the answer? The answer cannot be found in the passage. You will have to use the meaning of the idiom, right? Okay. What are your options? Right. Killing the chicken to scare the monkey. Scare. The key word is scaring. So you are killing somebody, you are causing harm to somebody to send a message to somebody else, ताकि वो सावधान रहे. Right. So it's almost like you want to send a message to the monkey, so therefore you do harm to somebody, so the monkey will be afraid, ये तो मेरे साथ भी हो सकता है. Answer 2 है, right? No. Pretend to target. Are you pretending to target? Is it almost like निशाना कुछ और ये निगाहें कुछ और? Not, it's not that, right? The aim of killing the chicken is to scare the monkey, not to pretend. 2 is not the answer. 2 is not the answer, right? 2 nahi hai answer. In fact, many of you have got the answer correct. The best answer is 3. To cause trouble to someone so as to warn somebody, scare and warn. This is basically what is the parallel. ठीक है, right? To target somebody close to, close की बात नहीं है. The chicken and the monkey may or may not be close. So by seeing what is happening to the chicken, the monkey will be afraid. That is the case. Now that is what we mean by the word scare. So scare and warn. This is what actually summarizes the answer. So best answer is that. ठीक है. What is wrong with 4? To intentionally trouble an innocent. Now chicken innocent है या नहीं, it is not necessary. To prevent people from committing crimes, it is not about stopping crimes. It is to send a message. It is to scare somebody. ठीक है. Everybody got it, I hope. Right. Now next question. Which of the following statements about Evergrande is not true? So you have to be very careful, not true. So find one word which makes the answer wrong. Right. So find one word nahi, could be even an expression. What I'm saying is you should be even, your eye should be open to even 1% of mistakes. Right. Even if it is 1% wrong, it will be wrong. What is not true? So previous question, the answer was 3. I've already replied it. Try this question now. Himanshu is saying, okay, 4. Himanshu, Nikita, Vicky, 3 people are saying answer is 4. Let me wait for the responses. Right, so, right. What is the answer? The best answer is 4. The Evergrande crisis is definitely manufactured by the party. In the passage, it is given as a question. क्या हो सकता है? Right. Now, definitely is a very strong word. So because of this, 4 is the answer. And most of you got it correct. Right. So whatever we are discussing right now, whatever things we are taking up right now, you can apply it in the exam also. When you solve questions, look for something which is wrong. Whatever is wrong cannot be the answer. And what is wrong could be there in just one word. It could be there in just, let's say, could be there in even, just one expression. So even one expression can also make the answer wrong. Everybody is clear with this, right? Why not 3? 3 to saaf diya na. The Chinese economy requires organizations like Evergrande. This is something which you can see here. Dekho, look at this. China needs companies such as Evergrande to operate because expanding urbanization and domestic consumption इनको meet करना है, right? So this basically means the economy is such that you require it to, they require it to run. ठीक है, understood? ठीक है, right? Now इसके बाद let's try some questions, right? I hope what I'm trying to show you here everybody understands. What I'm trying to show you here is nothing else but a passage, right? A series of 5 questions. 4 of them can be connected to form a logical sequence. Find out the odd one, right? Now try this question everybody. I'll give you a minute. Take a minute. आराम से करके देखो. And by the way, approach यहाँ बहुत जरूरी है, right? What do we do? Do we find something which is very different from the others? वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द अदर्स ढूंढना तो है, लेकिन कई बार very different from the others you will not be able to find it because all of them will be about probably the same topic. So what do you do in this case? क्या करना चाहिए? What is the approach? I have been discussing this with you for a long time. What should be the approach? The approach is to find links. ठीक है, link the sentences, right? And whatever is left out, whatever does not link with any other sentence will be the answer. So I will wait for some time. This question is not easy, right? Let's see. Right, everybody is clear. Odd sentence and parajumbles, you should basically operate on the basis of links. Vicky, थोड़ी देर और पढ़ लो, read carefully. What should be the answer? Okay, let me wait for some time. Some are saying 1, some are saying 5, some are saying 4. Okay, riddled with them. Riddled matlab full of. So, riddled with them. This is the answer. So, those of you who have marked 4, 4 is the answer. ठीक है, 4 is the answer. Aman, where did you do it? ये question तो मैंने कल परसों बनाया था. Probably in the class. I had done it in the class. Aman, did you do it in the class? This is not a question which I've taken from somewhere. ये तो मैंने बनाया था, right? So probably, right? Our culture is riddled with them. Them का कोई reference नहीं है, ठीक है? This is a question which I have given already in the in one of the classes on the app. Anyway, so everybody got the point. The answer is 4. Why is it 4? Them क्या है पता नहीं. If you notice, most of recorded human history is of one big data gap. Right now, the gap is that there is little space left for women's role. Right, and instead of the women's role, men's life has been given. Right, when it comes to the life of the other half of humanity, matlab, other life of humanity, as in of women, there is nothing. So 1, 3, 2, 5 linked hai. Right now, our culture is riddled with them. What is this them? Not clear at all. ठीक है, हाँ passage form में होगा. You must have done it, right? Anyway, right now, next question also tried in the form of this is, this is also, इसका passage you must have seen, right? ये हो सकता है, right? Classes में पहले करा चुका हूँ मैं, right? But these are questions which, okay, I did an RC on this. How possible? Because ये मैंने passage से ही लिया हुआ है. So try another question. Try this question. Another question. Let's see. Waiting for your response, everybody. Right. Okay. So people have started replying. Right. So everybody thinks the answer is 1. Right. And everybody thinks the answer is 1, correct? Right. It turns out they have to do this using this precept. Precept, यहाँ कोई precept नहीं है. What precept? Precept means a principle or a rule, right? And it's about this. They might be animals, but then here we are speaking about crunching numbers. Number crunching और communication में बहुत कम फर्क है, right? So the best answer is 1, right? बहुत कम relation है number crunching. If you notice, right? If you notice, right, look at 3. Considering the multitude of situations in which we use numerical, life without numbers is inconceivable. But what was the benefit? So if you notice, 3 is connected to 4, right? And 2 is also the same question, right? And 5 offers the answer, right? Why would numbers help? But will numbers help in communication? Not clear. And why I said this precept, what is it? Is something which we do not know. ठीक है, all clear everybody? Yes. Okay, right. So There is one last question, right? Be very careful. This is a question which is about the sequence, right? Here, this is like what happens in CAT. You are supposed to type the sequence, right? What is the answer? So I'll give you a minute to solve this and then we can quickly end it here. Choose the best answer. Best answer is okay. Most of you are correct in saying that it will begin with A. But A ke baad what will come? Is it B? Right. If you write B, where will C come? Best answer is AC. Look at this. The Saheli program, it offers us a week tour that involves a lot more than frenzied sightseeing. A lot more than this. What does it offer? It is given in C. Holiday packages include all sorts of topics, but female feticide must be the first for tourism. It involves a lot more. So AC is what is the answer, right? Now, participants to the entire to this program is basically what you find in B, right? And they will learn about marriages, arranged marriages, dowry, and infanticide. Interspersed with these talks, this is something which will come in the end. Best answer is ACBD. Best answer is ACBD. I think some of you got the answer correct, right? Not all of you, but in any case, these are all questions that depend on practice. Okay, so with that, we come to the end of the session. I hope all of you know the approach by now very clearly. What we do here is very simple, right? Questions go, you take up the right approach. Linking is the best method that we can think of. Okay, right. So I'll meet you again tomorrow. Till then, have a nice day, everybody. See you at the same time tomorrow. And before we end, some information, right? There is this uh, flat 25% off for the online classroom program, right? If you use the code festive25, so you can avail yourself of this particular, you know, of this particular offer, right? And for any classroom program that you buy, you will get this. And one more thing, there is this last lap to CAT, 28 October onwards. This will be like discussion of questions, right? These will be 20 sessions which will definitely help you, give you the final push in the preparation for the exam, right? So you can see the timings very clearly. Subscribe and you can learn. And these are the courses which are available: one for CAT 2022, one for 2021, right? And this is also about the course, right? So these are the teachers. We will end it here, everybody, right? Okay. Vicky and everybody else, right? Tomorrow, that is whether it will be, that does not depend on me, right? So if you have, if you want this to continue, you should basically, put in a request, right? Should actually mail at the the number which I already told you. You could send in the message, right? So let's see tomorrow what happens, right? In fact, as I was telling you, there will be other sessions. This last lab to cat is also there. It will be, you can definitely learn from there. Anyway, right? So that's it for today. Thank you. I'll see you again tomorrow.